It's Thirsty Leo season! Did you drink water today?
We know it's not August, but wherever we are,
it's always Leo season.
This is Colleen.
And this is Eileen.
And we are the Thirsty Leos.
But don't worry, this podcast isn't just about us being Leos.
Although it is what brought us together in a faraway country.
Our podcast is about
anime,
thirst,
creating content,
being Asian American women,
and just surviving through life.
Welcome back to Thirsty Leo season, a podcast. A wee, a woo, a wah, a wee, a woo.
A wee, a woo, a wah, a wee, a wee, a wee. Robots.
A wimba, a wimba, a wimba. Oh my goodness. That's kind of the vibe today. We are so excited for this episode. Colleen and I were talking and we're like, hey, people know a lot about us now, but not a lot about like where we come from and stuff like that. And we're like, obviously we need to tell them everything about us now because that's why we have a podcast. We're thinking kind of like 5 years just about in the past, like where we were. Upon that, Colleen found that 2017 was like such a crazy year for her where she did a bunch of things. And she was just telling me these stories. I'm like, this should be an entire, like, we need a lot of space to talk about this. So, Colleen, what do you want to talk about today?
Today, we are going to travel back in time.
Ooh.
We are going back 5 years in the past, 2017, a very monumental year for me. But before we get into it, how are you, Eileen?
I had a sandwich right before recording, and I think that sandwich is like giving all of my body the nutrients it needs, but it hasn't quite hit the brain and the mouth yet, and so I'm just like, we're revving up, we're warming up. I've actually been like really great, which is nice. Yeah, so basically I tabled at this expo at UW and with my friend Jess. Yeah, we sold a bunch of stuff there. It was great. And recently I was having a lot of personal conversations with my partner, and I was basically like, I don't really know if I'm successful, or I don't really know if I'm whatever. Obviously, this whole podcast, you've seen us go through these ups and downs of who are we? What are we doing? Should we be here? What's going on? Let's cry a little bit. I've been kind of getting out of that, but still, I've just been feeling this sort of restlessness. And he basically said to me, like, well, are you happy right now? And I was thinking, like, actually, yeah. I work in a little cafe. I love my work. I have some nice friends I've met here. And I just come home and I play a little bit of Genshin and I maybe like doodle a little bit. And then I just started selling a little bit of art, but I don't feel like that pressure to like keep doing that either. Like, I don't know, just like every day I just kind of do my own little thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'd say I'm pretty happy. And he said, congratulations, you're successful. I was like, what? And then I'm like, wait, yeah, that makes sense. Like, everyone just wants happiness. That was a mental shift for me where like this whole time I'm just like, oh, I'm just kind of doing whatever. But then I began to look at everything like, oh, I've kind of made it in a way. Like, this is what I wanted. I just wanted to draw and just have a little bit of money just to live on and just like do my own thing. And that's what I've been doing. So since that, I was like, I just got so happy and I just was like, let me decorate my room. And so actually on the wall adjacent are like art prints that I've gathered from other artists. I actually like really organized and cleaned up and decorated a little bit more and like really settled in, and I've just been feeling really on top of it lately. Yeah, which is probably why I'm tired. For our audio listeners, I actually have my art plastered in the back here.
Woo!
Yes, thank you.
Do you want to share with us who's on your wall?
Oh, wow, thanks for asking, babe.
Yeah.
This is Tanjuri's from Demon Slayer, if you don't know.
Ugh.
I actually drew this back in 2019 when I was anticipating for YCon in 2020. That was canceled the same weekend of my graduation due to COVID. It was the same weekend, so that never happened. But I had this art, and I'm like, okay, I'll sell that. And then this is the only kind of like innocent art that I have, and then after that, it's just there's shit. This is my Ito like prints. Yeah, that I might be stupid, but I'm not ugly. And then this is, I think, the signature. This is the one that really solidified that I really enjoy drawing, just like abs and other things. Yeah, and then the rest are some other prints that I sold, and it was a really successful weekend, and it was super fun. And I think there's another one coming in 2 weeks that I'm kind of getting ready for now.
That's so awesome.
Thank you.
Love that your perspective on where you are has changed so much ever since your talk with your partner. You now feel like there's a sense of belonging in where you are. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I feel a lot like I've made it. Like, this is what I wanted anyway. Like, a sense of belonging, a sense of also pride. I haven't been happy where I am in so long, or maybe I just never stopped and realized that what I had was enough. And I'm happy that I realized that, because now I'm really leaning into like what I like and where I am. It's really nice.
It may not be like what success may look like for the world, earning millions of dollars or like being hella famous with your art, but like as long as you're happy in what you're doing, like girl, I'm just so happy for you.
Colleen,
Yeah.
how are you?
I am also good. I also feel like, I'm back, baby. I've been busy with a new job, which is really exciting. And although that kind of takes away from where I wanted to be creatively, like YouTube, podcast, drawing. Obviously, I'm not an artist like Eileen, but, that's what I enjoy doing on the times that I have off. Also, I've been really trying to tap into what my passion is, where I want to be, if I am on the correct path. Because I feel ever since moving to Taiwan, plans changed. I felt like, dude, am I even supposed to be in Taiwan? And even though I'm still struggling with that question, it's a lot of, okay, if I'm here, I might as well work at what I'm given, I guess. And so I don't think I'm where Eileen is at yet, because I feel like she's really found her sense of belonging. I'm still trying to find that, which is something I am struggling with. But then I feel like I'm hopefully gonna get there soon.
Yeah. That was just about to ask. I'm like, where do you feel like you are in that like treadmill? Because like honestly for me, like, yeah, I have made friends and we're very different because you're still in Taiwan, in the foreign country that like you and I both got traumatized from. You have family over there, you're teaching English, you're not like in your passion work right now, and you haven't been. So we're in very different situations. But I do want to like just say that for me it was a mindset shift, because up until a few days ago I still felt like I'm like, I don't know where I am. Am I supposed to be here? I'm not making enough money. I'm not using my degree. Like what am I doing? Like the friends that I'm making, should I be, I actually like this. But I had enough sort of inventory in my memory of happiness to feel like, yeah, this feels right. I know that that's very different for you, like over there all alone, my baby girl. But I really hope that comes soon, and more happy things can go in your inventory, and of course more money, more jobs, more opportunities, more learning. Like that's good, maybe a little bit here and there for art. Summer's coming, it's warming up a little bit over there, and I'm here loving you as per usual.
Thank you so much, Eileen. What would I do without you? What would I do without this podcast?
We'd both cry.
We'd both be crying still. I'm really happy that we're both on this path of just figuring it out. And we're still on it.
Yeah, we're still on it. Yeah, just because I'm happy doesn't mean I quit, bitch. Nah.
Anyways, let's get into what we are going to talk about today. So I would like everybody to please close your eyes. And we are going to be in a time machine traveling back to 2017.
Wow, 2017. Flowers in the air. We were young.
Perfect. So 2017 was a very monumental year for me, because I feel like that was the year that I really figured out what I wanted to do in that time. Like, now that I'm looking back, I'm like, okay, I really figured out what I want to do in 2017, but now that I'm looking right now, I'm like, oof, but I'm still searching. So like, obviously it's that's like life. Like you said, that's life. It's a journey. Life. It's always going. In 2017, I moved to Cambodia.
Oh wow.
Why, you may ask? You might be wondering, why Cambodia?
为什么?
Why?
谁?
When?
为什么?
How? Exactly.
什么时间? Hostile questions.
Bilingual podcast out here.
Yeah, tell us, please.
So what had happened was I was heartbroken, and
oh my God.
Isn't that the reason why we always do crazy things?
Girl, oh my God.
I just broke up with someone in that time. It was the beginning of the year, and
wait, like December, like it's January, like literally.
Yeah, like December I broke up, and then January.
So you
new year.
Started the new year like single. And pringly and sad. Lovely. Love that.
Exactly. So I was hella sad. The relationship was already long distance, but I felt like in LA, I was just feeling really like I wanted to run away. I really didn't want to be there anymore. And I think at the time, I was not doing school. I did not have a job. I usually take these times in my life where I don't have anything lined up. And I just really take time to think about where I want to be and what I want to do.
Yeah.
And you know, it may not sound very conventional or like, oh, you're just wasting your time. But I feel like those are the moments that I really figure out where I want to be and what I want to do.
I want to know, how old are you during this time?
I was a fresh baby. I was 20 at the time.
20 going on 21.
21. I was such a baby.
You were turning 21 this year, basically.
Yeah.
Wow. Big year. Wow.
Yeah, big year, baby for sure, naive, immature, all that good stuff.
Cute.
Thank you. So how Cambodia came to be, like, to this day, I still don't know. Like, for some reason, Cambodia just popped up in my mind. And my sister did missions there before, so I've heard of Cambodia. You know, I've always wanted to visit. I don't know how Cambodia came to my mind, but I asked my mom about my cousins who I heard was going to Cambodia, but it wasn't like anything set. But then my cousins who are from Taiwan were going to move to Cambodia, and then suddenly I was like, hey, like, what are they doing? Like, where are they right now? Like, I don't know how, I don't know why, they just popped into my head. They were my favorite cousins from my mom's side, and so I was like kind of like wondering, you know, like, oh, I did hear a little bit here and there that there were rumors that they were going to be starting a boba shop / shaved ice shop in Cambodia. And so I was like, oh, where are they? My mom's like, oh, they just moved there, and, like, you know, they're starting their business. And something in my heart was just like, I want to be there. I want to go to Cambodia. I want to help out with the store.
Was it in that moment, or like did you bring it up to your mom, like kind of like, oh, maybe I can go? Or was it when she said they're there now, you're like, I'm going?
Ooh, I was like, when my mom brought it up, I was like, hey, like, what if I went? It was like a question at the time.
Yeah.
But I also am the type to be like, I only ask these questions if I'm actually serious about it. I'm not the type to be like, oh, what if I did this, but then I don't. Yeah. So
You're looking for a way out, basically. You're like,
exactly.
Looking.
I was like, who wants to take me in? I'll go. I'll be
Love
there.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, let me move there. And before you know it, I had a plane ticket for 6 months to go to Cambodia, and I was going to go all by myself.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any people. No, I didn't know anybody there. But I was like,
no lover.
I'm going for it.
Nobody. Little heartbroken couch surfer. I'm sorry.
It really do be like that. It really do be like that.
This is admiration. I so admire you.
I packed my little bags and I moved to Cambodia. And in my head, I'm like, la-di-da, I'm going to have the time of my life. I'm running away. My problems are left in LA. And eyes will be opened in Cambodia.
Yeah,
I will start this business with my cousin. It's going to be successful. It's going to be awesome. We're going to start this really cool boba shop. It's going to be awesome, basically, right?
We're talking money. Travel.
Little naive Colleen.
Oh.
Stupid girl.
A little naive, heartbroken couch surfer.
I'm going to take that from now on. I will accept it with so much confidence. The first day that arrived, oh my gosh, it was like a culture shock for me. Just like it was in Taiwan. The thing is, I've never been to Cambodia. And I've been to Taiwan multiple times. Like, now that I'm looking back on it, I've been to Taiwan multiple times. So, like, the culture shock here was crazy, but, you know, it wasn't, like, I feel like 20-year-old Colleen, like, what was she thinking? She's never been to Cambodia. She's moving there. Wow. I'm like, proud of myself.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, like,
wow.
Yeah, like, looking back, I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope. At the time, Cambodia was still a third world country. It's still developing, and it was very, very hot. I don't do well in hot weather. Your girl gets very grumpy and very upset in hot weather. Cambodia is like one of those countries that don't have winters, so it's always summertime.
So anyways, like tropical.
Yes, tropical weather.
And did you went, so like, okay, the heartbreak happened in January. What month did you go?
January.
You went in January?
Yeah.
What?
End of January. I started.
You got like 30 days of just like sadness, and then you just left the country?
Yeah. I really said, fuck this shit. I'm out.
I love you so much. Oh my God. This is why we're best friends. Hell yes. I thought you were like, I don't know, maybe like a month or 3. Just like, oh, because you're talking it's hot. So I'm like, is that summer? But then you're like, it's all year round. I'm like, January? Literally 30 days. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's crazy.
End of January, I was like, I'm out. I don't know why. Like, I was like, get me out of here as soon as possible.
Hell yeah.
The thing is, my ex wasn't even there. Like, I could have stayed a bit, but no, I was glad. I was glad that I left. I was
I'm
like,
glad you left too.
Anyways, so I arrived. The first day was crazy. Like, I don't even think it's sunk in yet that I was in Cambodia because of how shocked I was, you know? And I moved in with my cousins. They lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. I literally slept on the floor. Like, they gave me what's it called? What's that thing called? I almost said tampon. I don't know why.
Oh, like a tatami mat-ish sort of
what are those
thing.
things called?
You know, I just want to relabel or honorific you. You're now a naive, heartbroken floor surfer. You didn't even have a couch.
I didn't have a couch. I slept on the floor, basically. And I lived with them. And that was it. And then I started my journey in Cambodia. When I first moved there, I was really shocked by everything. It's so different compared to even Taiwan, even compared to, of course, to America. It was just so different. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have anyone I could talk to. My relationship was in secret. So at that time, I think like my friendships were not really solid at that point because, you know, I've just been in secret and in hiding, and obviously I couldn't really tell my friends. So it was like I basically ran away all by myself, you know. And I didn't talk to my cousins about it. I wasn't really on that level where I was willing to like share and be open about that. So I was just there, left with my thoughts, left with what was I doing there? Like, what was I doing in Cambodia? Like, I came to help, but it wasn't like a pop-in business either. Because when I arrived there, it was actually the storefront that my cousins rented was like a past Italian restaurant. It was kind of crusty, I'm not going to lie.
Wait, was it small or was it like big?
It was small. It was like really small. There were probably like 6 tables, and then not very renovated, because my cousin told me that it was always his dream to open a shop and he wanted to open one for the sake of saying he opened one. So I don't think he invested a lot of money or time into opening it.
It wasn't like he had this dream of like, I'm gonna have this really cute popping hip like little boba shop out in Cambodia. It was like, I'm gonna open this shop. Sorry, not to talk about your cousin like that, but basically he opened it and then that was the thing. He did it.
Yeah, I think, he just did it for the sake of opening a shop, saying that he did it before, which was also really dope, because I do also admire that. But I felt like the shop was just kind of very, like, they just made do with what they had.
Right, yeah.
And so I arrived there and I was like, you're lying. Like, I was there, and then, like, they were still renovating the place. And they're like, yeah, we'll be done with renovations by tomorrow. And I was like...
Tomorrow?
When I was there already, they were already like setting it up. So then, but they were had renovators coming over.
Wait, so I want to know. Sorry. How long were they in Cambodia before you were there? Like a few weeks?
A month before me.
A month before you, and then so they bought it, and then it was still being renovated by when you came in. So you came in like basically before open.
Yes,
and
like
maybe
1 to 2 weeks before they open.
Oh wow!
And then I was looking around. I was like, "You're not renovating these things," and then they're like, "No, we're done." And I'm like, okay, cool. So that really set the tone of where I was. I'm not there to complain at all. Like, I was there on my own will and accord. So I didn't really have a say in anything. But I was just like super shocked, right? I arrived, it was hot, it was sweaty. And then I was like, oh my God. And then like, that was my thoughts at the time. As time progressed, you know, the boba shop opened. Turns out it was not a boba shop. They were just going to be selling shaved ice. And they were also making do with what they had. They kept on the chef that was the Italian restaurant chef, and they continued to sell Italian food.
Oh, no way. Wait, I assumed that they were trying to like keep the purse strings pretty tight. So when he said that they didn't do boba, they did shave ice, I'm like, right, it's a little cheaper probably. Was it mostly Italian food and shave ice? Or was it just like mostly shave ice and then some Italian food?
It was like both. It was like half.
Wait, so then like, basically, they didn't even open a shave ice shop. They just moved into this old Italian restaurant spot and then kept the chef on. So they were like squatters in this. Yeah. You were business squatting in an Italian restaurant. Just kind of selling shave ice on the side.
Yeah, it was just like an add-on menu or something. Oh my gosh. Now that I look back, it's so funny. He sold like risotto, like seafood risotto.
Oh, was
duck
it good?
breast. It was actually surprisingly good. I'm not gonna lie.
That's funny. Wait, that makes it more, because you said it wasn't popping, right? There wasn't a large like clientele or anything.
No. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
We had fries on the menu as just like an add-on.
Right,
Fries.
right. Yeah.
They're like $1 fries. That was our most popular menu item.
Oh man, I do feel that though. I do feel that. It's always the little things. But also, wait, so if he was the chef at the restaurant before it was your squatting business, then were there not people that still stuck around for the Italian food? Or did the shop have to sell because the Italian food was not popular?
It was that.
It was that. So then why did your cousins re-enlist him to sell Italian food?
I think they thought that the shaved ice would bring a new factor to the business and therefore make it booming. But I had cousins from my dad's side from Vietnam that were in Cambodia doing business. After moving there, I reconnected with them. I've never met them in my life. I was talking to them, and then they also knew that like my cousins from my mom's side opened a shaved ice / Italian restaurant in Cambodia, and they were kind of telling me like, oh, like that's not a very smart business idea because in Cambodia it's like this. There's like the really rich and then there's the really poor. The food that my cousin was trying to sell was like middle class food.
Yeah.
The rich people aren't going to go to your restaurant for middle class Italian food. If they are, they're going to go to someplace nice. And for the poor people, like they're not going to spend $8 on a pasta because that for them is too much if they can just get a $1 noodle on the street stalls. So for them, like their business idea was already kind of like flawed to begin with, I think. But like I said, he was making do with what he had. He was just trying to open a place up.
I don't think we mentioned, but also great on your cousin and his wife too. I mean, like that's pretty ballsy too for them to just like, we're going to go to Cambodia and buy this freaking store and freaking open up and sell shave ice. Like that's pretty ballsy too. So kudos to them. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was influenced by their
I see where you get it from. Yeah, you're like,
yeah.
It runs in the family. I love it.
So anyways, that kind of set the tone for what the business was like. And it was weird. It was awkward. Like there was nobody every single day, guys. Literally, I would sit there just looking at my cousins looking at me. And I was like, oh, like legitimately, guys, I looked forward to going to the supermarket to buy Oreos for them if we ran out. Like that's the kind of things that I looked forward to in a day. It was the little things that really counted.
Were you there every day, like 7 days a week?
Yeah.
How many customers in a day?
In a day?
In a day.
On a good day?
Yeah.
Like 3.
Dude, no. Dude, come on. Really?
I'm dead ass.
What does a bad day look like?
Like 1.
Oh. So you didn't have a lit time then?
No. But I will say my experience in Cambodia.
Sorry, keep talking. Sorry, I'm having a moment. Talk.
I will say my time in Cambodia, now looking back at it, I fucking loved it. That was the time of my life that I really got to know myself because I didn't have friends. I felt like I was ripped out of my comfort zone and put into this foreign country with nobody, with none of my crutches for whenever I was feeling like emotionally unstable. Like before in the past, whenever I was emotionally unstable, I drive my car out, go get boba, go get good food. Okay, my negative energy is now all gone. I never got to confront any of those emotions. But now that I was in Cambodia with nobody, I didn't have a car, I didn't have good food. There were days where we would just eat rice and veggies, guys. Like legitly 1 plate of vegetables for 3 people. And that was it. Like the chef would bring it out and he'd be like, that's lunch. And I'm like, you're lying. Where's the meat?
Wait,
Where's
the chef can make risotto and everything else and the staff meal is just rice and veggies?
Yes. My cousins are like, we're going to be eating like staff meals. And I was like, yeah, that's understandable, It would be rice and veggies. I mean, of course, the chef, he was Cambodian, so then he would cook like traditional Cambodian food, which was really good. But then sometimes he would be lazy and just cook rice and veggies.
Wow. Well, I didn't know he was Cambodian. That's adding some more flavor to the mix. Yeah, a Cambodian man making Italian food. Yeah. No, I love it.
What happened was the old Italian restaurant owner went to Europe to learn, and then he came back. He opened his restaurant and he taught his chef.
Oh, I love
He
that.
left, and then the chef stayed. So then that's the reason why we have Italian food. And I was not there to complain at all because obviously I had free room, I had free food. Like, who was I to complain about my vegetable rice life?
Again, you had a free floor. And you had a free job of renting Oreos to people. You had free rice and veggies, which is like all you really need, honestly.
Yeah, and I had free heartbreak as well. So it was just a perfect combo,
you're still broken up.
So my time in Cambodia, I was really happy that I got to spend time with my favorite cousin from Taiwan. And I was also really glad that I got to reconnect with my dad's side because most of my dad's side lives in Vietnam and like Southeast Asia. So then I never even met some of them before. So the cousin that I am now talking about that was already in Cambodia, she married a Cambodian businessman and they opened like hotels, bars. It was awesome.
This is on your dad's side. Sorry, your dad's side?
Yes, this is my dad's side. And they had a son my age. So he's my nephew. At first, he was like, oh, like, let me take you around Cambodia. It would be a lot of fun. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Like, and like, that was like my only friend. And I'll tell a fun story. I was not into the drinking scene because at that time I was 20, right? I was still underage in America. But in Cambodia, there are so many rooftop bars. They are absolutely amazing. Like, they're so cheap. Like, it's like $5 for a cocktail.
Oh, jeez. Wait. What is the drinking age in Cambodia legal?
Like 12. I'm just kidding. Legally, I think they said 16 or 18.
So like Taiwan too then. Yeah.
Yes, like Taiwan. But obviously, they don't even check your ID.
No, I never once was checked
crazy.
Ever in Taiwan, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. So my nephew, one day he like called me up. He's like, hey, do you like to drink? And I was like trying to be cool. Like, yeah, I like to drink.
I was like, I drink every day. I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, I didn't have much experience in America, but I know that I enjoyed it. He was like, oh, like, let me pick you up. Like, me and my friends are going to a bar. And then I was like, okay, dope. He picks me up, and then we go to, like, this really cool bar. And it's, like, it's very interesting because it's, like, a club. Just imagine this. A club where there's tables, right? You know how, like, at clubs there's, like, tables? You're eating in a club, like a nightclub scene.
Eating?
You're
like
eating
real
dinner.
food or
eating
just,
dinner.
like, dinner?
Real
Wait,
food.
is it
legit like chicken wings stuff? You're sitting there eating a full-on meal with doons in the background.
And like somebody's making out in the corner and like you just see some condoms on the ground and you're like, oh, I don't know. I'm painting my own picture here. You paint yours.
Go ahead. That's a really good picture to paint. So I'm eating, and then back then I was still very shy. I was very like not outspoken. I wasn't funny. I felt like I was just like, I really kept to myself. But the culture there was so different. I sat down and it was him and just like 6 girls. And I was like, okay, like if that's the vibe, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, like they were all like interested in it? There's dating?
No, they've been childhood friends since they were born. So then like he hangs out with his childhood friends and then
all 6 of them?
He's like, yeah, he's like, oh, they're all girls, like, you're gonna have fun. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, like, it was really nice of him. So, like I said, because his dad's a businessman, right? So they're on the richer side of Cambodia. So all the girls are rich, too, with their Chanel bags, Gucci bags. And I'm like, oh, like, I obviously did not fit into that category either because, you know, like I said, I was really broke going to Cambodia. So that was, like, a good meal for me. As the night goes on, and then all of a sudden, he's like, hey, my friend's here. And then he comes in with 2 bodyguards. And this guy is dressed in like this gold shirt. He's flashy. He's there. And I'm like, oh, who is that? Like in my head, my nephew comes up, he like whispers to me. He's like, that's the prime minister's son.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what? That's the prime minister of Cambodia's son. And my nephew is like besties with him or something. And I was like, oh, cool.
What?
Yeah, and that's why he had like 2 bodyguards with him. He was like, chill.
帅不帅？不帅，帅不帅？
Shit. He's like this kind of like chubby guy because you know obviously like in Cambodia I think it's like
they eat meat. Holy shit, they're eating rice and veggies for staff meals.
Yeah. And his like skinny ass girlfriend who was white as heck like next to him. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like, yeah, the party's about to get switched up. And I was like, oh, there's a second party. So after hanging out with his childhood friends, we say goodbye. First of all, I was also really surprised realize how expensive it was. It was like $100 USD per person.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Like, just
so it was a
eating
nice
and drinking.
place.
But, like,
yeah.
It was a nice place, and he paid for it. I was like, thanks,
Jesus,
bro.
man. Wow.
So we switch it up to another club. It's now another club, ladies and gentlemen. We go to another club, and this time it's much squishier. It's like now you're standing at a table. Like, it's much more packed. Sorry. It's like a more lit club. Sorry. It's a more lit club, and there's way more people. But the bodyguards are just standing there protecting our table.
Oh!
The freaking prime minister's
Holy
fucking
shit.
grandson. And my nephew decides to go crazy, and he starts throwing up on people.
Oh. On people? On.
He threw up on the prime minister's grandson.
But they were besties, right? Was it? Did he get a little in his
They're
mouth? Was it like an
besties.
indirect kiss sort of situation?
It was no, like he threw up on his shoes. Like he obviously
Oh my
went on the floor and
God.
he threw up on his
Oh
shoes.
my
And the
God.
bodyguards carried him into the bathroom. Like legitimately. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna beat the shit out of him.
Holy shit.
But no, they just brought him to the bathroom to clean him up. They were so nice.
That's so nice. Girl,
Yeah, anyways.
you were in a hangover, like, you know the hangover movies? You're in a hangover movie type of plot.
Situation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or like Crazy
That's
Rich
what
Asians.
it
Like,
was.
that's, you're in between of those two. You could have swiped in there, shoved this skinny bitch out of the way, but like, hey, I'm from America, what's up? You know, I don't care if you're not shy. Like, let's like you got money.
Let's get it. Let's get it. You got money, let's get it.
You could have gone from
I was
heartbroken to like, no, I'm kidding. I don't know.
to rich, huh? I should have pulled more moves. I was just taking everything in because, like I said, I was living every day with my cousins from Taiwan with the little store. Not that was a poor life. Like, my cousins took me to the rooftop bars too, but it was like different. You know, it was like my age group partying it up in Cambodia, like living their best lives. And the Prime Minister grandson was so nice. He even poured me drinks. I was like, is this like legal? Like, shouldn't I be the one
Right.
pouring you drinks, sir? But he was so nice. He even
Aw.
cheers me a couple times. He got really happy after he got drunk. He's smiling from ear to ear.
Oh, I'm glad for
Very
him.
nice man.
Oh, well, good for
Yeah,
him.
that was how like my first crazy night in Cambodia was. And my nephew dropped me off, and then I was locked out of my cousin's apartment because they forgot to unlock the door for me.
What time was it?
I got home at like 3 a.m.
Oh
that's
my
why.
God.
Yeah. And anyways, that was like one of the craziest
Wait, no.
nights that I had.
How did it end? Did you get inside?
Yeah, I hella knocked, and I was hella kept calling them, and then finally I heard my cousin, because from the door I could hear my cousin. I was like, oh, he's going to the bathroom. So I hella knocked. I was like, hello. And then they opened the door for me. They're like, oh, because you know there's two locks.
Yeah.
Usually the safety lock from inside. They accidentally locked that one. So then I was like, oh, thank you. And they're like, wow, you came home late. And I was like, yeah. And then like, I was like, yeah. They're like, you had a good time? I was like, yeah, party with the Prime Minister grandsons. Good time. So that was like one of the highlights of Cambodia. Of course, another highlight was getting to spend time with my dad's side. They invited me on this random family trip. And I don't know like 80% of these people. I've never met them. But they're like, hey, do you want to come? And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, they didn't speak English or Chinese, and I didn't speak Vietnamese, Cantonese, or, you know, Cambodian. So I was just there by myself. But I am so glad that I had little experiences like that where I was able to say yes to a lot of things that I would not be able to say yes to if I had a life in America.
Yeah.
I was basically left with nothing. So everything that came my way, I just said yes. And I was very open to a lot of new experiences that I think now that I look back, like now, if I went back, I think I would say no because as I'm older, you know, more fears, more things come my way.
Yeah.
But I was so young and I was like ready. I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's have fun. And I got to connect with a lot of them.
Have you seen them since?
No, I have not.
That's also unfortunate, but it's like that's perfect. You were there at the right time. You know, they happened to all be there. They happened to invite you on the trip. You were in that mode, in that chaotic, heartbroken, everything just kind of bumping around time of your life where everything was a yes. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I'm so grateful that I went to Cambodia. Although every day it felt uneventful. I was literally just at my cousin's shop, sitting there. I would journal every day. That was when I started to really journal every day.
Yes.
And sometimes I would go out to coffee shops, like maybe once a week I would go to a nice fancy coffee shop. And I would sit there and I would sometimes even be like crying in the coffee shop, just reflecting on my life. I was really grateful for that alone time because I felt like in that time I had no distractions of how people should tell me how I should heal from my heartbreak.
Yeah.
Or how people would tell me, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, that's not what you should be doing with your life right now.
Yeah.
It was really just about how I wanted to live my life and how I was able to heal in that time. So that was really awesome. And then at that time, I also got to go to Thailand with my cousins. And I got to experience, like, really the Southeast Asia life, which I actually fell in love with. Like, every time I think back on that time, I'm like, I love Cambodia. I love Thailand so much because it's such a, like, special place in my heart because I feel like, yeah, like, there was those moments that I got to spend a lot of time by myself enjoying things without anyone else. You know,
It's like,
it was just like me.
Yeah.
And
there's no
Yeah.
like radio interference. It's just your wavelength, you know, and there's no one around you, no family, no friends, nothing. Downsides, but also upside. There's no judgment. There's no people telling you. There's no self-consciousness. There's nothing. It's just you experiencing things purely through your eyes and your eyes alone. The only thing that you can bring back to me and other people are just your recountings of it. But that memory of you is so precious just in those moments. Like, it's so pure. That's awesome.
thank you.
Yeah.
So what happened was after Thailand, Cambodia, I reconvened in Taiwan with my sister and a group of friends. That was actually always the plan, which was really awesome. Now that I think about it, I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity to go to Cambodia, go to Thailand, and then also now I'm in Taiwan, reunited with my sister and a bunch of friends.
Damn.
And that is when my YouTube journey began.
That's the one.
Yes.
What?
So my sister had this dream of coming to Taiwan, filming like a short mini travel series with friends. And obviously it began with her dream and then her passion of filming the beauty and the food of Taiwan. And then from there, that is when the YouTube journey began.
Dude. Ever since meeting Colleen, obviously the YouTube, vlogging, traveling and stuff, but I know back in like in the fur reaches of her channel, like those are the old videos and you said, oh yeah, that's when Lorraine and I were traveling with friends and she edited those. Is that from that trip?
That is from that trip.
Dude, wow, that's so cool.
While I was in Taiwan, my grandma passed away while me and my sister were in Taiwan. So we actually were able to go to her funeral and we were able to celebrate the life that she had and then say goodbye while we were in Taiwan. Like, it was so perfect. Like, we were in Taiwan for like maybe 3 days and then we got the news that my grandma passed away. And I was like, if we were in America, like, I don't think we would be able to make it out to Taiwan because of the timing and everything. And so we were in Taiwan. We created that travel series. We went around hostels singing for free rooms, which was really fun. And it was just such a, like, wholesome experience that I had with my friends. I had my alone time, you know, and now that I'm reunited with my friends, I feel like I started a new journey that time when my sister decided that she wanted to film a YouTube series. Because that has really capitulated to where I am now. I took over the YouTube channel. It's mine now. I do all the editing. I do all the filming by myself. I think that's why I would say like 2017 was definitely the year that changed my whole life around. Also, I was not doing school at the time in 2017, even though I was 20 years old. I was not going to school. But I came back after Taiwan and I was like, wait, I think I kind of want to go to school. And it was like something that I never thought about. I always thought that I would either go to culinary school or I would like just kind of do my own thing and not go to school. But after going to Cambodia and then realizing, I was like, wait, I think I want to start my own business. That was when the idea came out. And then that fall, I went to college for that.
Wow.
That whole year, like every single day was a struggle, but also every single day, like I learned something new about myself or like where I wanted to be. And it was so eventful every single day.
Wow. So wait, so you started the journey January, freshly broken up, and then you were in Cambodia for how many months was it?
5 months.
5 months. And then you went to Thailand, like that was just a quick like trip kind of thing.
Yes. It was like a quick trip.
You rendezvoused in Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
And then you made it back to America. And then when did you start business school? Was like the end of the year?
Fall. So
Damn.
September.
Oh, wow. That's a whole year. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I was in Taiwan from May to July, from July to September. I felt like I was dealing with the breakup once again because after the breakup, in the beginning, we were friends, we were cool, we would still call each other, you know, it was all good in the hood. But then, like, after summer hit, like, when my ex was like, no, I'm not going to Taiwan with you, I was like, oh. In that moment, I was like, I don't think we're ever going to be friends again. Yeah. And so that's when it really hit me that I was like, yeah, we're broken. And so summer, that was like probably the hardest summer of my life, where I was just dealing with the whole breakup. So I would say, like, even though, like, I did break up in January, like, and January to May, it was like Cambodia. Like, I feel like in that moment, I was just learning about myself. And then in the summer, I was really dealing with the breakup.
But most importantly, above the breakup or whatever, that's only how the year started. But what you accomplished and what you did, the experiences that you had, that's a big year. Yeah, I love this. Thanks for sharing. I know I've said that. I keep, like, you say your fun story thing, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's so amazing, and then I listen some more, and then it's like, oh my god, that is so amazing, and then I just keep saying the same thing over again. But that really is so cool. It's like your Genesis story, you know? Yeah, you discovered yourself, you did the thing, you did the little boba shop. Oh wait, I want to know how it went. What happened to their thing?
Oh, actually, it closed down.
No way.
Yeah.
How long did it last?
I think a year. I think they lasted for a year.
Really?
Which is good.
That's actually
Props on them.
Did it ever, like, pick up a little bit? I'm just curious. Like, did it ever, like, they sold 5 customers a day, or?
I don't know, actually.
Have you heard from them? The cousins since?
Oh, yeah. They still live in Cambodia right now.
Good for
They're
them.
Still there. They're just working for, like, companies now.
That's so cool. Like, I do see where you get it from. Yeah, just that, like, just go do the thing. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that sort of wraps up where I was 5 years ago. And I think the reason why I wanted to share, and then for the next episode, Eileen will be able to share about her life 5 years ago. I think, like, it really just does come full circle to where I am right now. You know, that year was so monumental for me. Like, it really was the year that I discovered myself, what I wanted to do, what my passion was. And now that I'm back in Taiwan, you know, less broken for sure, but chasing that dream. And, like, it just really reminded me, like, I was looking back on pictures, I was reading back on the journals that I had. Every day I was writing, I was like, am I supposed to be here? Or, like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I feel like I'm wasting it. But I look back on that year and that time in Cambodia, and I was like, bro, I learned so much. I grew so much. I became who I wanted to be. And hopefully in the next 5 years, I will be able to look back on my time here in Taiwan and feel the same way. You know?
Absolutely. There are glaringly bright similarities, right? You went on Cambodia basically on a whim, and your people were opening a little boba shop over there just to do it, and so you went, and then here you are. You went to Taiwan originally to also open a boba shop, right? To just go, fell in love with Southeast Asia, and now you're here as well. And then you fell in love with, like, doing your own thing and forging your own path. Struggling is just part of what you do, and you're great at it, you know. And now look at you, you're not sleeping on the floor. You have a little bit more than rice and veggies. Like, I know I've been bringing it up the entire, you know, you got a bed, you know, your sister's there. You've been there for, like, well over a year now. You've been there for a while. Yeah. And you're still thriving. Every single time we talk, there's something new. You know, you're either English teaching or starting this new thing, applying for this new job. Now you have another job. You're always moving forward. I cannot wait to see what it'll be in 5 years. And it'll be so clear now, like, later, like, why you were here in Taiwan. I know that it always feels hopeless, or even me and Seattle, like, what are we doing here? Yeah. But that's beautiful. Like, I can't wait for that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for allowing me to share and giving me the space. I feel like that's one of the reasons why I love to, like, look back and reflect on the past, because I feel like a lot of times I forget how meaningful my time in Cambodia was. But being able to share it, and then I'm like, wow, you're right. A lot of things came out from it. Despite me feeling like it was such a waste of time, I felt like I was just playing. I felt like, you know, in my 20s, like, but I feel like that's what your 20s should be. Like,
exactly.
It should be weird. It should be feeling like, oh my God, I'm so lost. But it should also feel like, you know, looking back on it, I'm like, it brought me somewhere.
Exactly. I love it. I'm just like, yes.
Yeah. My time in Cambodia, I always look back on it with a smile on my face. And I'm really hoping that I do the same for my time here in Taiwan. Because obviously in Cambodia, I was there for 5 months. So that was like, even then, it was like a little more temporary than what it is right now. My time in Taiwan, I've been here for almost 2 years. And
Holy.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm ready to go.
Wow.
But
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I don't know, like every single day, like, yeah, I'm ready to go back to America. And then a new opportunity arises. I'm like, ooh, I should take it. And then I learn more, and I'm still learning. I'm still growing, and I'm hoping that it can bring me a step closer to where I want to be.
Wait. That's awesome. We're exactly where we need to be. We are in our 20s, and even if we weren't, even if we're a little older or younger, like, this is life. This is just figuring it out, and you're amazing at it, and I'm amazing at it. Like, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. Like you were saying, it is true. Like, I can't really see it now because, like, I'm so stuck in my head. And like you said, it's like such a perspective change. Because like you were saying, like even just a few days ago, you were like, I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to be, And then you talk to your partner and you're like, yeah, I'm like really happy with where I am. I think that goes the same for me too. Because like, if it wasn't for Taiwan, I wouldn't have met you. This podcast would have never been. This whole life that I'm constructing now out of this experience would have never been. And it's just so crazy.
It's your origin story.
It is my origin story.
And also, I feel like if you had never met me, maybe you never would have given anime another chance. Like, maybe...
Anime who? Anime what?
Where? Anime what?
I don't know that. That's not me. I think always keeping your mind open to new possibilities. Because I feel like if I was closed-minded, I also would have never given anime a chance. Or I would never moved to Cambodia or Taiwan. Anyways, on the next episode, we will be hearing Eileen's origin story. So stay tuned for that. She gave me this beautiful, comfortable space to talk about this. Next episode, Eileen, the floor will be yours. I have cleared. I've cleaned it. The floor will be yours.
And I've mopped it with my body. You're gonna see how this came to be. This one, and we're gonna splash on that floor. That's solid rock. Tears.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you, guys. Don't forget to stay thirsty. Drink lots of water. Stay
and
hydrated.
Cry.
And cry. Our favorite activity.
Tears of joy
together.
All right, stay thirsty, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Thirsty Leo Season. To stay updated, check out our Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. We appreciate every follower, sub, and listener like you. Also, if you want to buy us a boba, we have a small Ko-Fi link below. See you next time.